Good day everybody, I am Narhaya S. Lumumba from BSPA LRG 2B. Expenditure pattern according to nature of expenses. The expenditure pattern of the national government could also be analyzed by nature of expenses. Example, current operating expenditure and capital outlays. The amount expended in current operating expenditure is at all instances greater than that used for capital expenditures. At an amount of 991 million in 1960, current operating expenditures went up to 167,300 million by 1990. Or an increase of 166,909 million, which is equivalent to 16,782% growth for the span of 31 years. On the other hand, capital expenditures move up to from 205 million to 44,927 million for the same period, a growth of 44,719 million or over to 21,814% was achieved. Among the two main accounts of current operating expenditures, it is interesting to note that personal services accounted for the larger share of the expense from 1960 to 1972. After which its shares somewhat decreased to the advantage of maintenance and other operating expenditures, which showed expense level up to twice that of personal services. An item which registered a continuous increase in money value was that for debt service. This is indicative of the importance our government is placing on public borrowing to cover our budgetary deficit for developmental purposes. In other sense, it indicates the growing magnitude of public borrowing in our total expenditures. The larger increase registered in money terms among the items under capital expenditures was those incurred for land improvements and structured outlays from 134 million in 1960 to 30,944 million in 1990, or an increase of 30,810 million. Share of current operating expenditures fluctuated from a high level of 829% of national government expenditures in 1960 to a lower level of 79.0% in 1990 and peaked in 1966 at 89%. The decreases in the share of current operating expenditures result in a corresponding increase for capital expenditures. There is no restrict from us to the allocation of expenditures inasmuch as all the percent shares in it all have been fluctuating, although one thing is definite. Capital expenditures has always been far less. Less than allocation for current operating expended terms. The increase in personal service was due to the increased scope of function of the government which called for more manpower and a larger bureaucracy. Maintenance and other operating expenditures increase as a sequence of the expanded bureaucracy. However, its movement is not steadily upward, while its share of total public expenditures fluctuated from time to time, other capital expenditures register a continuously upward growth. From 1960 to 1990, capital expenditures accounted for an average of 23.3% as an important indicator of capital formation. The amount expended as a percentage share of expenditures is very low. This is in consideration of the level of development for the Philippine economy. Noting the current policies statement on their importance, it is a fundamental requirement for economic growth. This is so because capital expenditures give impetus to higher productive capacity, also outlays on road networks and utilize. As a policy for full employment, the government relied on a sustained cash outlays for infrastructures as counter-cyclical measure against recession to stabilize the economy. The pattern of distributing of expenditures according to nature of expense are not steady. The fluctuation like that of functional categories of expenditures could be due to the exposed economy's reaction to the erratic developments in the world economy. That's all. Thank you and wassalam.